Welcome, everyone, to a fantastical, erotically charged summer episode of It Crept from the 80s.
Summer is here.
It has been some time, folks. It has been some time. We've all been very busy. Bobby's been busy. Bobby Heckman here, who is my co-host for this episode. He's
Yes.
busy putting some finishing touches on his project. I'm
Indeed.
doing some pre-production on a project that's coming to fruition, which Bobby is also a part of.
Yes.
Casey
I
is
wanted
busy.
to kill myself this summer, so and plus working a regular job and getting forced overtime every other night.
Yeah, so busy. We've all been busy, but here we are, a brand new episode. It may not be one-on-one in person, but at least we get to join you virtually. Yes. And so Bobby came up with this episode. He was just like, "Hey, let's do an episode about summer campy, fun '80s summer movies that we love and we watch." And tis the season, huh?
Tis the season because I was outside today. It was 91 degrees. It felt like summer. I'm like, let's talk summer movies that we
very hot,
especially in the '80s.
That's right, of course.
We could just stick to the '80s it's crept from the '80s.
There's only, let me see. There's one movie that I have here that is not from the '80s, but it's set in the '80s.
Oh, okay.
And it's primarily the stuff that I pulled is stuff that I generally watch, if not every summer, then every other summer. They're traditions, I guess.
It's summertime. You need to watch these movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do, guys. And if after you watch the episode, if you like it and you want to check out other videos on the channel, please go and like and subscribe and start commenting on stuff. Let us know your summer joys from the '80s that you partake in, maybe yearly, maybe bi-yearly, or it's maybe not at all.
Maybe you hate summer.
Yeah,
you despise summer. You hate how hot it is, how awful it, humidity, and it's gross. And I mean, fall is the best season of the year, I think.
Yeah,
you love winter,
right? Well, no.
You love Christmas.
I love Christmas, and if I were controlling the weather, I would only have it snow in December and then be done. As soon as December 31st hits, the snow goes away. I would rather, I just want it there for the Christmas time, and that's it.
Yeah, Long Island, we barely get snow in December anymore. It's always like it hits us January and February, and that's it. And then slowly starts to become spring.
Well,
I know where you live. It's like winter 6 months out of the year. So.
Pretty much, yeah. New York, upstate New York, Western New York, forget about it. Yeah,
I couldn't live there. I don't know. Fall is my jam. Spring is nice.
I hate spring, but I love fall.
Okay.
And I love parts of the summer.
I like parts of the summer where I'm doing something fun. Like the drive-in experience I had last week. I'm like, that was great. And it was cool in the nighttime. So,
as a kid, I think for me anyway, and most of my friends, the heat of the summer wasn't even an issue because we were just so excited to just have summer and be out of school and enjoy everything that summer had to offer.
Exactly. The movies.
Once you start getting older.
Right.
And
riding bikes everywhere. Movies, the trips, the every day going to 7-Eleven, get a nice Slurpee, Yeah,
and for me, I was making movies, and that was like prime time. I was like, all right, guys, we're doing this. You know, now we
It's
have all the
funny.
time in the world.
Growing up, I don't think I really made any movies during the summer, which is like doesn't make any sense. Like that's the time you have the free time to do it, but it would always be after school when we
Yeah,
were
I mean, we did it after
learning
school,
that
and quite honestly, I did it all year round. But
did all your around.
it was a time where my school friends and my neighborhood friends just all sort of smashed together because it was summer. We didn't have anything to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like, okay, everybody's dying. So I don't know. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And now we're old curmudgeony, like, it's too hot.
Yeah. Let me just
Sweat,
stay
sweat
inside
my
the
balls
AC.
off.
I
You know?
couldn't wait to get home to this AC. I mean, the AC was nice in the movie theater today, but whoo, there was hours in between that and coming home where I'm just like, this is gross.
Yeah.
So let's
So
talk about fun summer.
yeah, but so
So
yeah, these movies
in
are
movies.
it's generally, they're all summer related. Some of them are camp, some of them are not.
Mhm.
But watching them for me gives me those summer feelings. And of course, like I said, for the most part, I only usually watch them around the summertime, depending. Uh,
Okay. I picked out 7 movies that I have here. I'm wondering if
I
most
got
of them will
9.
be yours. 7 of ours will be the same.
You don't
Probably.
know that. You don't know that.
No, you never know. So can I start?
Yeah, of course. You're the guest.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, I'd like to start with this one right here. American Ninja 5. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's garbage.
Ugh,
Let's start with One Crazy Summer, which I
Bobby,
just got the Blu-ray a couple days ago.
that summer, that was a crazy one.
It was one
It was a
crazy one.
crazy one.
It was
It was
pretty wild. It was
Bobcat
intense.
crazy.
This was a film that I definitely watched every summer and probably a couple times during the regular year. Um, I loved this movie growing up. Bobcat. I mean, all the
So this
it's
is a
so
Savage
funny.
Steve Holland. Like, now, out of the two that are sort of like, cult
Mhm.
classics, what do you like the best? Better Off Dead or One Crazy Summer?
I would say when I was 10 or 11, 12, up until like my early teens, it was One Crazy Summer, definitely. But as I got into my teens, I really realized how much I love Better Off Dead. It just became one of my top 3 favorite comedies of all time. It was just, I don't know, I just found myself watching it more as I got older. Um, and then like as I really got older into my 20s and 30s, I kind of realized that there is like something missing in One Crazy Summer, and I've never been able to pinpoint it.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe it was like maybe there's moments that like Cusack does not want to be there because the story behind that was Better Off Dead premiered halfway through shooting One Crazy Summer, and Cusack hated
Yeah.
what he did with Better Off Dead, and kind of like was like, I'll finish this movie, but we will never work together again. Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Which really
And it's like
sucks.
you can't, we don't know that, we can't tell that he was having a bad experience, but and the cast doesn't understand why either. They know what they were making, so it's kind of interesting. Like it feels like there's something. I don't know. Maybe a couple of scenes like lag here and there or something. Like there's just I can't pinpoint it. I still think it's great. I still think it's hilarious in a lot of scenes, a lot of moments. But there's something. There's no fine tuning in that. You know that maybe it could have been
Mm.
here somewhere.
Hmm.
But everybody's great in it. I love Curtis Armstrong, Bobcat. Uh, what's his name? Joel Murray, his first movie. He's good in it. You know, everybody's good in it.
Godzilla.
Man, what a
He's
great scene. How
he's
do you
great in it.
if you don't see that coming, you know, it and or not thinking about it, it's hilarious when it happens. Um, stomping on the models. Uh, yeah, I love the little like cartoon things and you know in between the scenes. Uh,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely a savage movie.
it's definitely a savage movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's funny. And the commentary, if I mean, do yourself a favor, listen to the commentary. It's one of the funniest commentaries.
I don't have the Blu-ray yet.
All right.
You know, but
It's on the DVD too, if you have the DVD.
I don't. I didn't get the DVD.
Okay. The commentary is really good. It's the director, Curtis Armstrong, and Bobcat.
Okay.
And they tell some great stories. And Savage is funny, where he's like, I wasn't sure if this little like joke worked, and they're like, yeah, it's fine, you know, like they're like reassuring him about a movie he did 30 years ago that it's okay.
Yeah.
And there's a moment where Curtis has a memory of, because it was Joel Murray's first movie, he was asking Bobcat for like acting advice and what to do in a scene. And Bobcat's like, really? He's like, I don't remember that at all. He's like, what did I tell him, to like be incoherent and scream a lot? It's like, don't worry about lines, just yell. um, anyway, it's one of my favorite summer movies. I love it. You love it. We all love it.
I do like Better Off Dead more, though.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Well, so maybe you
For
could tell
me,
me, what is it about Better Off Dead that you think is better
I
than
think for me, Better Off Dead is a little more absurdist.
absurd?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Like
that
the mom
appeals.
always cooking
That
crazy
appeals to me
things.
greatly. Um, it is in a world of its own. You know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. But you do know. I mean, at least for me, you do know that when you're watching One Crazy Summer, it is a savage Steve Holland movie. Like it just, you know, you know what
Yeah.
I mean. His touch is there, but it,
From Better Off Dead. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a little less for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, it's fun.
the way
It is One Crazy Summer.
it is. Maybe there's more heart in One Crazy Summer, and that's what kind of like tips the balance a little bit. I mean, that heart is nice, you know, about saving, you know, with the boat race and saving the community and everything. I don't know. Where Better Off Dead was just straight up silly through the entire thing.
Uh,
Um, anyway, Better Off Dead. Now you know. One of my top 3 favorite comedies of all time. So
all right.
shoot me.
This is of course.
American Ninja 4?
Now I watch
Oh,
this not just every summer or every other summer, but I also watch this in certain marathons around the year. Um, the original Friday the 13th.
yes.
Yes, the Björning.
The Boining. The Boining.
Um, Now, if you know me, if you've listened to any of my hokum before, you know what I think of this movie. I, Friday the 13th is neck and neck with Nightmare on Elm Street as my favorite horror franchise ever. But even as a kid, the original Friday the 13th I always found to be a little bit
Boring.
boring. I wanted more. And when I saw The Burning, I sort of got what I wanted out of The Burning that I
Right.
wasn't getting in Friday the 13th. So I do a dumb thing. If I'm doing a Friday the 13th marathon, I watch The Burning first, and then I go to Friday the 13th Part 2. And then so on and so on. I just skip
Right.
Friday the 13th. But I mean, this is summer camp. This is a summer camp slasher classic. I love it so much.
Really.
I think the soundtrack is killer. Um, it's eerie, it's creepy, uh, and something that isn't as prevalent in a lot of not just Friday the 13th movies, but slasher movies in general. Um, the cast is likable. You know, these are
Yeah.
for me. This is a very exuberant group of actors that came together, thanks to the Weinstein's, to
Yeah.
make this horror movie, and um, you don't always get that with
No, they're
movies.
all fun characters and they're all likable. Like
And for the
even
most part, um, I don't know. There's, it's yeah. That's a big reason I love the movie so much. Actually, it's
I
just
think if you want to compare it to the original Friday the 13th, they're all better actors in The Burning than the original Friday the 13th. And
eh,
I'm a massive Friday the 13th Part One fan now. I am,
ugh, oof.
but growing up, yeah, I felt the same way you did when I was younger. I would kind of be like, Part One, um, and just move on 2, 3, 4, so on. But like, I started to really appreciate the original. I guess because of the feels it gives me when I watch it.
Mm.
It's like I don't know. I just love the whole feel and the whole look and how dark and creepy things are in certain scenes and everything. But The Burning is just probably a better made movie all around with all the acting is top notch and pretty much and
Yeah,
just
I dig
it's
it.
just a cool story.
Yeah,
I mean it's a
really,
simple story, but
it's very
it's
simple.
cool.
But
But they take you off in a different couple of twists and turns.
it really works. And then of course Savini. Um, but for me, like when I watch this movie, and much more than the Friday the 13th films, when I watch something like The Burning, I feel like I am at summer camp. It totally feels like I know
Okay.
this feeling because I went to summer camp. And for me, this one and another one I'm going to talk about totally emulates that feeling for me. And
Right.
sometimes when I'm watching The Burning, I can get that feeling of like, ooh, mosquitoes, and it's moist, and it
Yeah.
just has that feeling. And I don't know, it really works for me, and I love it. And if I don't
What
watch it every
year?
year, huh?
What year? I'm sorry. What year did you go to summer camp? Which is something I've always wanted to do because of it.
It was '89. So I
Oh,
went.
you
I
went when
went.
you were 11.
I was 12. I was 12, and then I went the next year as well. So I did 2 summers in a row, and it was a 2-week camp.
Wow.
Yeah, it was called Camp Gorton, and it's still a working camp, which is awesome. I looked it up actually last year. I was having memories of it, and I was like, man, I wonder if that's still around. And sure enough, it is.
Oh my God. See, that's something I always wished. Like I used to do these camp. It wasn't a camp though. It would be like week-long things at the church or something, and that would it wasn't the same at all. But
Uh,
like, but all watching all these movies, I was like, oh my God, if this is like, I would love to be at this camp and doing pranks and
it. I
doing
mean,
some of these activities
it
and eating
honestly was so
burgers
much
and fries and shit.
like these movies. It really was. I mean, it
Mm.
was. We had activities to do. There were counselors. We had nightly, routines where we'd all have to like get together and the counselors
Mhm.
would do like music, on their guitars and everything, and we do s'mores, and we did water activities and yeah, group activities to like strengthen friendship and all that stuff. And
Right.
yeah, it was cool.
I
And
wish.
those friends that I had at summer camp, they were cool friends, and it was awesome because there was this one particular friend, and I wish I could remember his name because we literally were only friends at summer camp, and he was also there the second year as well.
Right.
So we were like rekindled it, and for 2 weeks each year, we were like the best of friends at summer camp. And I remember for a while we did do like a not a
Pen pal.
pen pal thing, and I can't remember his name, but he was
And
cool. He
then
was
and junior high starts and you just drift and
yeah, no,
it's
yeah. I mean, I don't. I wish it would be amazing to be like, man, I remember you. But
and man, that is crazy. Um and that kid, what's his name? Seth Green that you were friends with? And
what are you talking about? Oh yeah, of course. Well, he was my
yeah,
cousin.
he turned out to be Seth Green. No, I was trying to think of somebody in that age range, but
That'd be hilarious.
somebody like big.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Uh, that's weird though. It's like you become so close at the summer camp, and like you're
I
not
I
friends
wish I could.
the rest
I
of the
can I
year.
can almost remember his face, but he was my bunk partner as well.
Right.
So like I don't know. And there was a mess hall, so we all ate, breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the mess hall, in the cabin mess hall, like
Hmm.
log cabin mess hall. It was just awesome. Yeah, it was very cool.
That's great. Um, Now this movie, um, this as far as like goofy comedy kind of thing, like this is like where it wasn't so much Friday 13th movies or the movie that we're both definitely going to bring up, Sleepaway Camp, later. But like, I know we're going to both bring that up. But
Yeah.
like,
Oh, man.
this movie really made me wish I was at camp making those friends, making those type of friends, and like doing those activities and having fun, and maybe having counselors that were like cool, to like chill with and goof around with. And that is,
I spit on your grave.
yes, exactly. Meatballs 1 and 2. So, I mean, have Bill Murray. Oh, geez, exactly. Oh, you hold up one, I'll hold it two.
Yeah, so Meatballs 2 is in my list.
Yes, and it would be in mine if I had it. So I don't have it, but it's amazing. I mean, the feel of that camp and those first two Meatballs movies, like, was just like, I want to be there.
Yeah.
And I would, I wonder if I would feel like the Rudy character from part one, that's only friends with Bill Murray, and he's trying to make friends, but they're all just kind of like, meh. But I don't know. I love the feel of those, and man, adding an alien to part two just makes it even greater.
Well, of course. I
A
mean, that's
Jewish
why
alien from outer space.
that's why I love part 2 more because it just
Oh,
is
just completely
off the rails. The whole thing
off the
is
rails.
stupid.
And Paul Rubens,
Yeah, yeah.
and like the cast is like ridiculous.
It's just
So
bonkers. The whole thing is ridiculous. So of course the second one.
appeals to you more,
Oh
of
yeah,
course.
that's my jam.
That's
That's a summer camp I want to go to. You know.
yeah. Now, if only they put Bill Murray in that movie too. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
how amazing Meatballs too.
yeah, yeah.
um, and we might as well just Meatballs 3 is weird too.
Oh
Just
yeah,
gets weird.
I guess if I had it, I probably would have thrown it out there, but it doesn't have as much of that feel because of the
No,
plot, what it's about.
yeah, it takes place
You
on
know?
a dock with like
Yeah,
boating people.
yeah.
It's not a summer camp movie at all.
But
So
Meatballs 4,
We go back to camp with the Fell Dog.
Yes, with the Mr. Feldman and his amazing Michael Jackson dancing skills.
And he has one of my favorite lines in that movie with the oh yeah, that's right. He does more Michael Jackson moves in that too. That's right. He has to.
Of course.
But one of my favorite parts of that is where when he first arrives at the camp.
You mean as he's parasailing into the camp?
Yeah, as he parasails into the camp, and he's talking to the girl right there, and he talks to her breasts and say, "Bill, Ted, have we had any excellent adventures lately?" I'm like, that's a great line, and probably something he made up on the spot.
I actually like Meatballs 4. It's terrible, but
Yeah. Oh, the first time I saw it, I thought it was like the worst friggin' thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But it's growing on me because
I mean, it's terrible, but I know you and I personally had a fun time watching it, just because it's definitely better to watch with friends.
I probably only would watch it with friends.
Yeah.
Whereas the other three movies I could watch on my own and enjoy. The third one is just whack. Like it's just like a dead porn star comes to Earth.
But I like
help
3,
get
and
laid.
I have a
Patrick
theatrical
Dempsey.
poster of 3.
Yeah, I mean it's a great poster. All that poster art for the 3 Meatballs movies is great. They're
Struzan.
real.
Struzan did.
Are they all Drew Struzan?
No, he did part 3.
I was going to say but they all have a Struzan style.
Yeah, but 3 is.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. Wow. Struzan did that. And it was originally called Summer Job, I think, or something like that. And then they added that Patrick Dempsey's character is just supposed to be Rudy from part 1.
Yeah.
Grown up, and it's just like, all right. And they made a little connection there.
I'm actually shocked that has no actual real physical media, part 3.
Well, it's supposed to be the next Vestron video collector series.
I mean, I could see Vinegar Syndrome doing it,
Yes.
because they like to scrape the bottom of the barrel. And
what is that, Live Entertainment or something?
For 3? Geez, I don't know what 3 is under now.
They're all different companies.
Yeah.
All 4 movies are different companies, which is weird. Because I think Meatballs Part 2 was even called something else before it became Meatballs Part 2.
I don't know.
But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. We already talked about it.
I'm not going to hold
Sleepaway Camp. If it's not an every summer, then it's an every other summer. And then again, I've seen it outside of summer so many times.
Yeah, it's a top horror film for me.
Yep, it too is just a classic, awesome summer camp slasher, creepy, weird, unexpected,
creative kills,
frightful
creative
flick.
kills.
It's just fun, super fun. So that's a staple for sure.
Yeah, it was a staple for every sleepover with buddies that guys and girls had when we were young, I think. Like, because I've talked to people at work who are like our age, and I would mention Sleepaway Camp, and they would be like, "Oh my God, my friends and I rented that when we were kids, and we watched it asleep." I'm like, yeah, everybody has that same story. It's almost like that story of like finding porn in the woods when we were kids. It's like everybody had that same thing, or we all had a lot of the same experiences. And
did I tell you when River saw it?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I told this nurse at work that story about River seeing it. And it's great that still like plays well. Actually, here's something funny that just last weekend when I was hanging out, Catherine Mary Stewart, she's like, I watched Sleepaway Camp because I recommended it, because at New Jersey HorrorCon, Felissa Rose was 2 people down and she kept yelling. And Kathy is like, who's this? What has she done? Who is this person that keeps screaming over here? I'm like, that's Felissa Rose. She's at every convention. She's known for this movie, Sleepaway Camp.
She literally is at every convention.
Yeah, she's at
Right.
every single convention. So she's like, oh, let me write that one down, and and maybe I'll watch it with my husband and stuff. And I'm like, well, let me know how that turns out. I'm like, I always want to say, I'm like, why don't you just wait till we watch it together, so like you could see the enjoyment more instead of just thinking you're about to watch a good horror film, like. So, but she said it on Saturday that she's like, she actually enjoyed it, and I ruined the twist for her because
Why would you do that?
I didn't think she was going to watch it, but then she's like, oh, I want to see it. I'm like, well, I just spoiled it for you of like what happened, so why would you want to watch it now? But she enjoyed the journey anyway. She's like, that is a cool idea for a movie. Like we like, her husband kept guessing on what's going on and if the killer was going to be the cousin and stuff like that. So it kind of blew her mind a little bit too. So that was interesting.
From the electrical tape mustache to the penis, it's a great.
I was going to bring up the mustache. I was going to bring up the mustache, but I let it go to talk about the Angela face on the naked boy thing instead.
What else you got?
Well, I mean, did you want to talk about the sequels at all today? Or we could skip that.
I don't. I mean, if unless you watch them all the time.
No, I don't. I watched
the
first one way more than the others, but if I do a marathon, I definitely watch all of them and have fun with parts of them. Well, my mom and I got the Blu-ray recently. My mom and I love Summer School.
Yep, it's on the list.
It is probably my favorite summertime movie. I mean, everybody is top notch in this.
Absolutely.
It's hilarious. It flows well. It's got
heart. It's a classic.
Everybody's great. Every scene has something that you're going to smile or laugh about. Chainsaw and Dave. What else can horror fans get? Sean King and I were talking about this yesterday, how it was like the first time we saw in a movie with Chainsaw and Dave that like the horror community was like represented like correctly. Like these dudes seem like those, like us, like our friends. Like when you see that dream sequence with Chainsaw and you see his bedroom, it's not just like, hey, throw up some horror posters and like, oh, he's supposed to be a horror fan. That's it. You look at the detail of that room, it's every one of our rooms. It's Fangoria articles cut out of magazines taped to the walls. Like that kind of detail.
I mean,
just like one shot.
As a kid, as a monster kid, as a fan of comedy growing up in the 80s, seeing Summer School was like, like this was personally made for me.
Yes, absolutely. And that it's two shots in the whole movie.
But like just them in general. I was like,
oh yeah.
Wow, it's it's horror kids. It's horror team. Yeah. This is amazing.
And then talking about American Werewolf in London and Rick Baker and
it's
and then Rick Baker does the effects in that scene.
Classic.
It's amazing.
Danny Elfman, the score.
Oh, so classic.
Boingo Boingo, the theme.
Happy. I love it. I love the whole movie. It's probably, I don't know. It's one of my favorites. I mean,
man.
I remember it affected me so much that in junior high, a year after this movie came out and I saw it, in junior high, I had my shop teacher call me Chainsaw. People would signed my yearbook chainsaw. Like that just became my nickname because it was a year after the movie came out. And they were like, "Oh, this guy's like you, Bobby." And I remember one time in music class with my friend Eric, the teacher said, okay, everybody take your seats. And we did the whole, where should we take them? Lifting up our desk and everything. And it didn't play as well. Everybody just kind of like turned around and looked at us like, and we just like sat down. It was funny to us, but everybody was just like, anyway, moving on.
Well, Summer School is one of
Yes.
several movies on my list that is celebrating 35 years.
Do we need to discuss this further with the 35th anniversary?
No.
That's it.
Oh, but yeah, guys, and it's finally on Blu-ray.
And it has a cool interview with the Eker guy.
Yeah, I've yet to watch any of the features on it.
Watch it; it's really good. And
I will.
He talks about how cool like Mark Harmon is, and that Mark Harmon still loves his like summer school cast members. And
well, it's funny when we went to Sundance, when the LBP gang, when we did that, in 2009, we were hanging out at Slam Dance, and Mark Harmon had a movie playing at Slam Dance, and so he was coming out into the lobby of Slam Dance, and while we were coming in, and I was like, "Shoot!"
Freddie, shoot!
And he goes, "Who said that?" And he stopped, and he like turned it because people were with him, and he's like, "Who said that?" And I was like, me.
Yeah.
And he turned around and he goes like that.
He loves that role, man. That's like his. He loves summer school. He loved the experience. That's proof right there that he was like, "Who said that?" He like loves when somebody recognizes him from that instead of NCIS for like fucking 20 years. Yeah. So summer school.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Need we say more?
I know, man.
That's it. Just
one
of my all-time favorite comedies.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? This is a classic.
I should make it a tradition to watch it like 4th of July weekend, every weekend or something.
Well, now I will, because you said that.
Yeah, because I think that's when it originally was released.
It's starting now, July 4th weekend. After Stranger Things Volume 2, I will dip into Weekend at Bernie's. Same premise.
Boiny.
Gotta keep it going.
Boiny.
And I actually saw Weekend at Bernie's 2 in theaters at the Arnett Mall in Ithaca, New York.
Still no Blu-ray release.
I know. It's the one I have. It's like, and then I like popped it in like last year, and I was like, "Oof, I can't watch it this way. It looks terrible."
Does it look that bad? I haven't watched.
Oh my gosh, it looks bad. Oh yeah, it looks bad.
Especially with our 4K TVs, it's got to.
I mean, it just looks terrible. But yeah, Weekend at Bernie's, man. I mean, so nice they did it twice.
It's funny, like I still have my DVD of Weekend at Bernie's. I just never got rid of it. I also have a signed Weekend at Bernie's like the first release of the DVD by like Don Calfa signed it, so it's like I can't get rid of it.
So when at the time, the only Blu-ray that was launched, you know, was
And I have that version that you
this
have.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and then like, you know, I don't know, it was probably a year later, maybe 6 months later, the American one came out, and I was like, oh well, I got, you know, I imported it. I cared that much that I imported Weekend at Bernie's
Well, and I
from the
watched it
UK.
at your house, and that's when I was like, "Oh, this looks great. I should
Yeah.
order this."
So
And it's weird. When I did order it, it worked fine on my Blu-ray player, but the trailer doesn't work, which is weird. Just blank. I was like, "Oh, they didn't." I don't know. That's I should probably have Kathy sign my 80 copies of Weekend at Bernie's.
yeah, why? I mean, did she sign the poster?
Yeah, I have the poster signed.
All right, well, you know,
I mean, do I need her to sign anything? One
no.
day she's just gonna be at my house, just
Now she's your buddy. You
like signing shit. I'll be like, "What? You're devaluing it."
So
Summer school.
this one I did. This one is on my list. Now it's not my favorite of the series, and it is also celebrating its 35th anniversary.
Hmm.
Oh wait, no, it's not. Oh yes, no, it's not. Oh yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is
Make up your
celebrating its.
mind, man.
No, it is. It's celebrating its 35th anniversary. It
American
is,
Ninja.
and
Well,
I did see it in theaters, but it is probably my least favorite of the series.
I already know what you're gonna say. Can I guess? It's Ernest Goes to Camp.
Yeah.
Ha ha! I knew it.
Yes.
Okay.
So honestly, quite honestly, the only time I watch it is if I'm doing the four first theatrical Ernest film marathon.
Camp,
Um,
Christmas, Jail, and Stupid. Yeah.
that's right. Uh, those are the best Ernest movies as far as I'm concerned. Uh, and it's, you know, listen, everything before this was TV specials that he did or the commercials from, you know, 82 to the movie. But I loved Ernest, and of course, when the movie was coming out, it was like a big deal and everything. And so I went to see it, and I saw, you know, those first. I saw the first five Ernest films in theaters, and the fifth one killed it and destroyed my spirit.
Rides
But
again. You were
Ernest
no
rides,
longer riding again.
Ernest rides again. My God, oh my God, what a disappointment walking out of the theater.
Well,
Um,
speaking of disappointment, let me tell you about what my dad thought of Ernest Goes to Camp when he took me to see that movie. Woo!
yeah, he was
Man,
like,
he hated that movie. He was like, "That is the worst movie," and he liked those Ernest commercials. Like he thought those commercials were funny, and he still to this day quotes Ernest. Like like he'll be explaining something to me, and he'd be like, "You know what I mean, Vern?" Like he just still does that, but he
listen,
hated
you know, I
that.
can get it. I understand it. I don't hate it. And it is my least favorite of the group,
Right.
of those first four. But like I said, I do add it into the marathons. It does. It only has a special place in my heart because I saw it theatrically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have that memory and that theatrical experience, and there are some gags in it that I do enjoy, but overall, I think I think they figured it out movie verse wise for Ernest in Saves Christmas.
Right,
Um,
which is the best one, I think.
so
For me, it's the best one.
yeah, for me it is the best.
And I think those are the only two I saw in the theater, which was
Oh,
Camp and Saves Christmas.
1 through 5.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't a massive Ernest fan, but like I do like Ernest Saves Christmas a lot. Yeah, so my dad hated Ernest Goes to Camp and Three Amigos, and he continued to tell me this every year
Oh my god.
for year, like all through high school. He's just like, "Oh, just don't make me watch Three Amigos and Ernest Goes to Camp again." He would always say that. And of course, Three Amigos is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Absolutely. And it's one of my favorite theatrical experiences.
And you share that experience with your mom.
Yes.
And her dying laughing with that, and how that's a Christmas movie, Three Amigos.
Yes. So bizarre.
For some reason. Oh my God. So I have two more left.
I have three.
All right. So give me your next one.
Okay, so this one is not an 80s movie, but I love it and I've seen it since it came out. I've probably seen this movie 100 times.
Can I guess this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it Super 8?
No, I almost pulled that.
Okay.
I almost pulled that.
Because it does take place in the summer, right?
It takes place in the summer and it takes place in 1979.
Okay. It's not summer of 84. No, because I know you don't like it.
No, I don't. No. So, but this takes place in 1981. And of course, it's stupid, absurd humor.
I know it.
By a group of people that I admire and was inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Wet Hot American Summer.
Wet Hot American Summer. I love this movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It is right up my alley.
I've only seen it like 3 times, but I really enjoyed it. Did you like the sequel? I never saw any of the sequel stuff that
I did. The prequel and the sequel. Yes.
The prequel and the sequel.
Yeah, they did.
But wasn't one like many episodes and one was what's the?
No, they did They did a show for both.
Are they both like 10 episodes each or something?
I can't remember if it's 6 or 8 or something like that. But yeah, both of them were a series, and one is a prequel to right before Wet Hot American Summer, like right before, and then one is it's like they say at the end of the movie, let's meet back here 10 years from now, and that's what the sequel is.
And what's the year? It's in the 90s.
Yes, yeah.
So it's 91, basically.
It's like 91, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Now I need to get on that. Well, I need to rewatch it again and then watch the prequel sequels.
It's all great. I love it. But they actually captured it. They actually captured the camp feeling. They really did it.
Yeah.
And,
the short shorts, the long striped socks.
Yeah, and they with the whole vibe of it, it really works. It really works. So.
Yeah, I just remember like some of the hair was a little like too wiggy looking.
Well, they, come on, they know that. They know what they're
doing. I know. I just wish that, like sometimes like in certain shows they wouldn't like.
It's even worse in the prequel and sequel.
Oh my God. Oh, well, then it's part of the joke.
Yeah, it's almost like it's part of the joke. They just let's get a Party City wig and just plop it on you. Don't style it, nothing. It's just terrible.
They just have a messy, crazy sticking up in the air. All right, so this movie I don't think is great, but I have very strong nostalgia attached to it of like watching it a lot. I don't even think I thought it was great when I first saw it. But there's moments in it that like I just think are very funny, and it was one of those movies I just kept going back to a lot when I was a kid. And
Terms of Endearment.
Terms of Endearment, exactly. No, it's just I have a strong nostalgic pull to it, and I don't know why, because I don't think it's great, but I really enjoy this one. Back to the Beach. There's something about it. It's kind of like what I can't figure out in One Crazy Summer, exactly what it's lacking. I don't know why I keep coming back to this.
Listen.
Maybe it's just the feel of like it's an 80s movie with these 60s stars in it, and it's got this kind of charm that runs throughout it. that I
Yeah.
just keep going back to, and of
So
course we love that Pee Wee scene, but like
I mean, probably because
it's just a nice movie. It's just like I'll smile. It makes me smile, and
yeah,
like it's not hilarious. It's got a couple of funny moments. It's very almost G-rated, and I'm just kind of like makes me smile.
since
It's
since I was a
nice.
kid, since I was a kid, I've probably seen the movie about 10 times, but I
Yeah,
don't but I don't own it. I don't own it at all.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
I probably shouldn't own. I only own it because a friend of mine gave it to me.
but I've
But
seen but I've seen it. You know what I mean? I've seen it 10 times in my life, you know.
right.
Um,
Do you feel that same way, or it's
since
just
I
kind of
was a kid. Like I've probably out of those 10, I probably rented it 3 times. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know?
But you don't think it's great either, right?
I
Like
don't
it's
think
just
it's great. I don't love it.
yeah,
But it's a fun little romp. It's
yeah,
and especially Fishbone. Fishbone
yeah,
is in it, and ska ska ska. They do the ska,
yeah,
and I definitely was drawn to that. Um,
yeah.
Everybody has heard about the bird, and Pee Wee definitely knows about the bird. It's an odd little mix of a movie.
Yeah.
It's a modern beach bingo bongo
Yeah,
bimbo.
which those movies I seen kind of like here and there. I never seen a full
Yeah, me either. It was
Frankie
like
and
a
Annette movie because it
channel
was
WPIX channel 11. Sometimes they'd be on, and it was just like, oh, okay, a surf movie, a weird beach surf movie.
yeah. So I would watch a little bit of them, and I got that when I saw this movie in the '80s, where I was just like, all right, they're kind of like spoofing the kind of movies they did 20 years ago at that time. And playing jokes on themselves. They're kind of doing a parody of themselves from that time. I was like, all
I
right,
don't
I
I,
get
I
that.
don't know if I would I don't know if I would fork over the money to get that new Blu-ray that's coming out. But if
Yeah.
somebody
Sean Jenkins, he loves this movie.
but if somebody gifted it to me, then I'd be like, okay, this is awesome. I'd be like, all right, what
Yeah.
a
You know
fun little
what? Me
addition.
too.
You know?
Me too. I would probably enjoy having a cleaned up copy because I don't remember what this copy looks like. It's a
Well, I
Paramount.
mean, I'm
It's
sure we've only
unbelievable.
seen it in pan and scan. So,
Right.
4:3, the way we grew up seeing.
Um, Actually, here's a summer movie. Side note here. Here's a summer movie that I thought I would enjoy a lot more years later, and I watched it last summer because somebody gave me the copy, and it wasn't something I would go and buy, but I saw it as a kid. I kind of remember thinking, oh, I think it was kind of funny, so I took it. I watched it last summer. It did not hold up for me. So um,
Oh yeah,
Summer Rain.
I've never been. I've never liked it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I kind of like. Well, it's Carl Reiner who directed Summer School, maybe,
And it has John Candy.
and who's always charming as fuck and just a joy to watch all the time. So I'm like, I should really take another look at this movie. Maybe it'll hit me differently now. Maybe it will be funny. I don't think it'll be Summer School funny, but like it's got to be okay.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I did not find this. I only enjoyed watching John Candy just being John Candy. Like nothing he was saying was really funny, but he made me smile just seeing him on screen because yeah, I fucking miss the guy, like so it's kind of like that where there was nothing like 80s or nostalgic about it that
Yeah.
really stood out. It was just kind of like it just kind of laid there and tried to be funny, but it wasn't. And it's kind of just nice looking, you know, watching John Candy do his thing. I guess trying to make the movie funny, but it doesn't work for me. I know people our age There's a bunch of fans of this. I think Tansky's one of them. I'm not sure, but it's just kind of, it's there. I'll probably never watch it again. I mean, if it took me 30 years to rewatch it,
You love it.
30 years from now, I'm going to be like, maybe I should try that summer rental again. Maybe this time I've grown, I've changed. I'm 60, years old now. Maybe that'll work. So this is on my pile of movies to get rid of now. So
Perfect.
I have one more movie in my list.
All right. I got two
I
more.
don't know if you even thought about this movie as a summer movie. What do you have? Did you already do yours last?
No, I got two more.
Oh, go for it. I'm sorry.
So this one, I didn't see it in theaters, but I rented it a lot as a kid.
Mhm.
In the late '80s, I definitely rented it a lot, and I don't, when I talk about it to people, they don't seem to ever know what the hell I'm talking about. Um,
Okay.
but I personally really enjoy the movie. It's not the greatest, but it's fun. It is summer. It's fucked up. It's weird because of the subject matter and how there's an odd turn in the middle of the movie. But this movie is
Oh, Whitewater Summer. Yes,
Whitewater
of course.
Summer,
Yes.
Kevin Bacon, Sean Astin,
Okay.
um, Matt Adler.
Right.
Yeah. And I really enjoy it. And it's an
Mhm.
odd movie because, like, so it's a movie that they shot like a year or two in the '80s before the movie came out. And then
Right.
at the end of the movie, and then they bookend the movie with an older Sean Astin,
Yeah,
sort
with
of,
his memories of the
yeah, like,
time.
I'm telling this tale to you, and this is what happened.
And he hit his growth spurt, so he looks a
Totally,
couple years older.
totally.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously it was because they shot it earlier in the '80s, and they were finally going to release it, so they're like, "Well, we can't release this. Sean Astin doesn't even look like this now." Like, so I'm sure they just went in and was like,
It's actually pretty smart to do that.
we got to do this. Yeah, yeah, but I don't think it really helped the box office.
No.
But anyway,
Well, it was post Goonies, right? Oh, was
so
it
yeah,
probably
so I've always enjoyed the movie, even as a preteen, and nobody really knows what I'm talking about when I do talk about the movie.
I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
you
about.
do, and there are some, but mostly when I say that and I say, "Oh yeah, it has Kevin Bacon," they're like, "You mean that '90s movie where he's like in the rapids
The
and all
River
this stuff?"
Wild.
I'm like,
Yeah, the
"No, no,
River
no, no,
Wild.
no, 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 no.
Yeah.
No, this is a '80s movie, and he's with teenagers, and he turns into an asshole, and he's like this, he's this like survival guide, and
Yeah.
tries to teach kids to be men, Shit.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember watching it. I remember seeing it a couple of times. I just don't remember the whole movie. I just remember pieces. Actually I want to watch that with you, like
I love
tonight.
it, and it's got a kicking soundtrack. It does. It's got like an '80s like metal and like soft rock soundtrack. Journeys on it and all this shit. But
Right.
yeah, it's I don't know. I really dig it. Really dig it.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I definitely want to rewatch that one. I'm sure I'll have a better experience with that one than Summer Rental.
And sadly, there's no Blu-ray, just this DVD.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just thought about this one. I kind of like this movie, and I haven't watched it in years, but I've had a bootleg of it for 15 years. And I remember my friend Tom and we would watch this once in a while. Um,
And this one is also celebrating 35 years, although it was shot like 2 years before. So,
is that 80? Wait, it was shot 84?
it was shot '85.
85, release 87.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like that movie.
Yeah, I remember. I
Not
think
at
I
all.
kind of like this movie, but I don't like the ending. But I like pieces of this movie. Um, with Tom Fridley on the back there.
Yeah, it's a no-go for me.
Um, I haven't watched that in years. I have no idea how that movie will play with, how I'd feel about that either. I probably think it sucks like Summer Rental.
And
So
what's your last movie?
my last movie is Stand By Me.
Son of a bitch.
I considered it a summer movie. I
I
mean, they're about to start junior high, and I was wondering if you were going to think about this because I know you do love this movie.
I love this movie and I have it 4K.
Oh, there you go.
I fucking adore the movie.
This is, I mean, it's their last week before junior high starts. It's a summer movie.
I'm an idiot. I would have been on
You're not an idiot. I wouldn't have thought it either if I didn't go to like my drama section that doesn't have as many as everything else. Like I don't have a lot of drama, and that disc was like, oh my god, Stand By Me, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie is amazing. I love that.
It is. It's incredible.
And its sequel, The Weirdsies.
The sequel, man, what those twists and turns were crazier than Sleepaway Camp.
I know.
What can you say about Stand By Me? Perfect.
I mean, it's
a perfect film.
It's transcendent.
Yeah,
it is. It's so good.
I can't think of anything that's like. I mean, you fall in love with these four characters.
Yeah.
I
wanted loyal friends like that, and I got them. I ended up getting them.
Yeah, and I
ended up getting like 15.
Great movie.
Great movie, great soundtrack, great director.
One of my first soundtracks on cassette that I played all the time. And it was all like, late 50s, 60s music. Yeah, it's great. And and years later I read the story, and it's the same thing. Like, it's literally, they just took the story, made this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of it is word for word shit that they say in the movie is in the book.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The only part of the book that's a little weird is that it would go into Gordy's stories that he would write that have nothing to do with what they're doing.
Yeah.
It would just be like, this is a story that he's writing, and it would be a few pages, and you're just like, get to the Stand By Me of it,
Yeah, there's so many people who I remember I would always be like, Stephen King wrote this, and they just never believed it. Never believed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always one of those, like, it's one of those three movies that I always mention. Well, Stephen King doesn't always write horror, it's like he writes like some great drama too, like he writes other things, and I always mention Stand By Me and Shawshank Redemption, and to me those are two like perfect dramas. But and supporting cast is amazing. Kiefer Sutherland and all those guys.
Warner.
Even Dave is there from Dave and Chainsaw.
Yeah. He's a real greaser. He's a real punk.
Yeah.
He can take tattoos. He can give tattoos like nobody else.
Casey Sismico.
One of the young guns.
Yeah, one of the young guns, exactly. How many young guns were in this movie? Jeez.
So, was that your last one?
That was my last one.
Okay,
unless I think of another one, as
my last one is celebrating 36 years I watch it every summer.
Ooh,
And I
36 years, you said?
36 years. I watch it every summer,
From
and
Beyond.
it just recently came out on Blu-ray with a bunch of other short films on it. The cast is stacked. It's I mean it is a classic 1986 uh sexual summertime romp.
You're throwing me for a loop here. Oh my God, yes. I remember this. Oh my God. It was always part of like oh oh wait. I'm remembering differently. I'm in it. I'm actually in it. Oh my God, I was so young then and still
Stoinky
had gray
Beach.
hair. Stoinky Beach.
Stoinky Beach.
It is a tradition now. Stoinky Beach must be watched. The 1986 classic.
The Stoinky Saga Blu-ray
Yes.
with all the Stoinks.
Get it right now. Just write to warlockhomevideo@gmail.com.
That's right.
Ask for your copy.
Stoinky Beach
Uh,
has everything.
he will sign it for $50.
It's got boobs, bush, and butt steak.
You got to have the butt steak.
It's got telekinetic aliens. It's got a love story. It's got a radidocious group of loyal friends, best friends.
Yes.
Uh,
Fuck you.
there's a beach. There's a pool.
There's volleyball.
There's mustard.
There's
a
mustard.
There's a bully.
Yes.
I mean,
there's underage skateboarders.
Poop eating. I mean,
Yes.
it is.
And there's a V reference, a great V reference in it. So that's what's most important.
That's right. Well, that's what it's most famous for.
Yeah, everybody remembers that V reference.
V reference. And
wow.
The, amazing special effects.
And that band that plays the pool party, man, they were.
Oh my goodness.
Woo! Yeah. Better than Oingo Boingo. You got to check this band out.
With the Stoinky Beach theme.
Better than Fishbone with Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Stoinky Beach. Yeah, what a way to wrap it up. Stoinky Beach.
I know.
Yeah. Whatever happened to the wasn't there going to be not a Stoinky Beach 2, but wasn't there going to be something else?
Oh, there was a Stoinky Beach. It was going to be Stoinky Beach 2. It was called Creature from the Poon Lagoon. Stoinky Beach 2, Creature from the Poon Lagoon. Nice. And then there, of course, there was Stoinky Academy.
Stoinky Academy. Oh
yes.
My God.
Yes.
Wow. Stoinky Academy.
Stoinky University.
Yes. Man. Ooh. Man. When can we find these sequels?
One of these days they will get made.
maybe Vinegar Syndrome will release it.
Oh yes, like the Vice Academies, but it'll be all the Stoinkies. It'll be Stoinky Beach, Stoinky Beach 2, Stoinky University, Stoinky Academy.
Excellent. What about is Fraternity Vacation a
summer movie?
Is that a summer movie?
Well, it's what is it? Spring break? I can't remember. Is it spring break? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's spring break.
But you could watch it during summer. It has the summer vibes. You're getting Barbara Crampton. You're getting some Lane Kinmont.
Some Midnight Madness. Is that summer? I don't even remember.
It's midnight.
What about, here we go. Here's a bona fide classic. Last Resort. Probably the worst film I have in my collection, but I can't get rid of it. It's got.
I don't know. You have a lot of terrible films in your
collection. Oh yeah, no. But I keep things.
That's just one of them.
I keep things like this because this is where it ends. This might be the only copy in the world, so it's cool to have.
It's a waste of space.
Well, yes, but I like looking at these two guys.
I don't know. You've got better movies where you can look at those two guys. Like, get rid of those fucking movies. You have Busted as well. Oh my God, you got Busted as well. God damn it. No way. I can't do it. I don't care.
Oh, I just love having
There's
these
only
terrible
3 Corey movies.
Dream Little Dream, Lost Boys, License to Drive.
That's right. That's all you need. The rest is just, it's pure garbage.
And I do want a Blu-ray of License to Drive.
Why don't
I'm
you
so
have
happy
it?
we got that Dream Little Dream.
Why didn't you get the License to Drive Blu-ray?
For some reason, I showed you when we were at your house that like it goes for like $60 now.
Well, I understand that now, but you should have gone it when you could have gotten it.
You think like, oh, I'll get this next week. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I'll get it next week, and then before you know it's out of print, and then that's
It is weird that movie would go out of print like that,
right.
as fast as it did.
What about this Beach Bodies collection?
Yeah, they're all summer classics. Hard Bodies.
Hard Bodies. Yeah, I like Spring Break.
Sean Cunningham's Spring Break.
I don't like Private Resort. Oh, here's Meatballs 4 on this 4-disc thing. The Party Animal and was it Hot Dog?
Hot Dog, the motion picture. Hot Dog, the movie.
Yeah, I like Hamburger more than Hot Dog.
I like Fajita.
Ooh, 2 more terrible Feldman movies that I found at King Cullen grocery store for $3 or $5. Look at this. Yeah. South Beach Academy.
They're both terrible.
Yeah. That one has Zach Galligan in it too, I think. My little terrible section over here.
All right. Well, that was it, guys. That was our summer movie list. Summer 80s, summer, the things we like to watch, the things that give us those summer vibes, getting those pina coladas and sitting by the pool and watching some great Stoink.
I love pina colada Slurpees. It's my jam right there. I love those.
So that was it. Let us know the summer jams that you enjoy from the 80s.
I'm sure we missed a few.
Well, I mean, it's the stuff that we like watching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's not everything.
No.
Somebody might pop in something in the comments. It's like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like when I brought up Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. I'm like, oh,
yeah, like
of course.
Yeah. But yes, let's do this again sometime soon.
Well,
we must.
Of course we will. Yes,
yeah.
Have to. There's
once my film starts editing a little bit more rapidly, I'll get some free time and we'll do more of this. Hopefully.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you enjoyed any of the other videos, like I said, like and subscribe. We appreciate all the people who are still here. I understand it can be frustrating with the lack of episodes from time to time, just because things get crazy, things get busy. It just so happens that everybody that I like to co-host with is always busy, either busy or lazy, and so you don't want to push people to do this. It's not monetary. It's just a fun thing. So we try, but every
Life
now and again, every now and again we deliver some fun. So
film productions get in the way, just
there'll be more. So thanks for watching A Crep from the 80s, and we'll see you on another highly erotic episode. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Summer jams. Yeah.